Classism in India, deeply rooted in the caste system of Hinduism, continues to undermine human rights, ethical values, and the rule of law in the 21st century. The caste system, one of the oldest forms of social stratification, traditionally divided people into four varnas: Brahmins, Kshatriyas. According to the National Crime Records Bureau, more than 50,000 cases of caste-based atrocities are reported every year, including beatings, rapes, arson, and even murder, with conviction rates often under 30%. Dalit students often face bullying, exclusion, and systemic bias in schools and universities. Tragic suicides of Dalit students at prestigious institutions like IITS IMS like that of Rohit Vindula in 2016 highlight how deeply entrenched caste bias is, even in elite spaces. One shocking example came in 2023, when a Dalit child in Rajasthan was beaten to death for drinking water from a pot designated for upper caste teachers. Even commercial platforms like matrimonial websites openly classify users by caste, further entrenching these divisions. The United Nations and Human Rights Watch have repeatedly condemned India's failure to eliminate caste-based discrimination and violence. Reformers like Dr. B, who rejected Hinduism's caste hierarchy and embraced Buddhism, have inspired millions to challenge the system. Yet despite historic movements like Bhakti and modern democratic safeguards, caste continues to shape identity, access, and power in India. And it's not just limited to India. Casteism exists among the Indian diaspora too. Dalits often see their grievances ignored or mishandled, eroding trust in democratic institutions. It does so by violating human rights, distorting justice, devaluing ethical governance, and weakening social unity. Until caste is confronted, not just legally, but socially and morally, true equality will remain a distant dream. Classism and casteism also corrupt moral reasoning, where privilege is mistaken for moral superiority, and oppression is internalized as inferiority. This weakens both individual dignity and the ethical foundation of society. In 2020, a high-profile lawsuit in California accused tech giant Cisco of allowing caste-based discrimination in the workplace, while placing Dalits, historically known as untouchables, outside of this structure altogether. Despite being constitutionally outlawed in through Articles 15 and 17, caste discrimination persists across Indian society, particularly in rural areas and even within modern institutions. Meanwhile, Manuel Scavingi, with over 58,000 reported workers in 2023, most of them Dalit women performing this dehumanizing labor. Dalits and scheduled castes, who make up nearly 17% of India's population, face daily discrimination in access to education, healthcare, jobs, and justice. Intercaste couples, particularly when the man is Dalit, often face violence and even honor killings. Religious justification of caste is another problem. Ancient Hindu texts, like Manusmriti, codify inequality as divinely ordained, and many conservative groups continue to legitimize this view, resisting affirmative action and social reform. In villages, Dalits are frequently denied access to temples, public wells, and common areas, while in cities, caste-based segregation appears in real estate listings and housing preferences. Employment discrimination is more subtle, but equally damaging. Studies show that identical resumes with upper caste surnames receive far more callbacks than those with Dalit names. Caste also shapes marriage patterns, with over 95% of Indians still marrying within their caste. Politically, caste is manipulated for votes, reducing democracy to a numbers game rather than ethical governance. From an ethical and human rights standpoint, casteism violates the core principles of equality, dignity, and justice as outlined in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Most critically, the rule of law is deeply compromised when police, courts, and administration largely dominated by upper caste fail to deliver justice impartially. So how does classism rooted in caste undermine India?